if we allowed feelings to purely dictate political policy, economic policy, then it feels really good to just, you can make that, it's really nice to let people into your country. And just anybody who wants to come, you just come in.
I feel like
that feels nice, but the practical implications of it and the cascading and domino effect of what that's going to have on society, not good. And those feelings will be very short-lived when you basically double the population. For example, how many people in the world would like to come to the United States?
No idea.
I'd say it's over 1 billion people. How many people currently live in the United States?
I think it's 300 million.
What's our housing stock?
Don't know.
Do you think we have the housing stock available to house 1 billion extra people?
Probably not.
So it feels really good to just let these people in, right? It feels great. We're doing the right thing. They're escaping a country that's their economy is not as good, or there's corruption, or whatever it is, or they're just economic immigrants. But that feels good, right? But what about the feelings of the people that already live in the country? How about that?
Well, I mean, if you move here, legally or not, you technically live here. I do at work or interact with a lot of immigrants. Okay, they are people at the end of the day.
Yeah, they are people, but like if we were to adhere to your belief system on this, then we would just literally open up the floodgates to having 1 billion people living in the United States. I hope I don't have to tell you what that would do to rent prices, cost of living, crime, all sorts of things.
Once again, nuance.
What do you think about this? Are you for illegal immigration?
I don't want to speak on this.
Tilt your mic down just a little bit. Well, as a woman,
speak on this.
As a woman who had very strong opinions of all these evil men, you remember all these evil men who are harassing women and it's a majority of men who want to rape women, right? Don't you think it's, by the way, the majority of illegal immigrants are men, by the way. Men are much more likely to immigrate. Don't you think maybe if your position is so like, let's protect women, shouldn't you also be against immigration?
No.
But you're letting all these creepy, weird men into the country.
Why are they creepy and weird just because they're not American?
Wait, hold on. Just to be clear, it's okay for you to say men are creepy and weird just because they're men. So wouldn't that apply not to the immigrants because they're immigrants? It would apply to them because they're men, from your perspective.
Again, I'm not gonna go into like race because I think that race and gender are very different, and it's just a different spectrum. Like, I just think that yes, it's letting more men into the U.S., which sucks. But I don't think just because they're an immigrant that they're gonna like necessarily be detrimental just because they're an immigrant.
Wait, hold on, but you're against letting men. You're against men.
And that's a different topic. I'm upset that they're men coming in, not because they're an immigrant.
But I mean, they're kind of intertwined. They're men coming in to the country.
I'm more upset that it's a man coming in here, not that it's an immigrant.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they by definition would be an immigrant, so.
But I'm not upset because they're an immigrant.
Okay. On one hand, you're like, wow, all these men are crazy rapists. Like, that's your position. Majority of men are predators, creepy, weirdo, rapists. But come into this country, and I don't have an issue with that. I don't get that.
Well, I'm not going to be like, oh, these immigrants are rapists because they're immigrants. It's because they're men.
But hold on. But you're letting them. But the majority of immigrants are men. So
I don't think that's true.
If your goal was to stop women from getting raped, wouldn't you want to prevent immigration?
I don't think that it's a majority of men. If you want to fact check me, no, that immigrants are a majority of men. I don't think that's right.
The majority of immigrants are men. Men are much more willing to take the dangerous journey to get here.
A lot of immigrants are already here and have been here for years, and they still are getting deported. It's not just men. It's literally whole
okay.
families. Like me personally, I've literally like witnessed it. It's definitely a lot of women too. And again,
okay.
I don't necessarily think it has anything to do with the fact that it's an immigrant coming in. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is that it's a man.
It's a man coming in who happens to be an immigrant.
Yeah. That sucks. But I'm not going to say, oh, you're an immigrant, like you can't come here.
So, but I guess my confusion is, on one hand, all these men are so bad, and like there's probably some argument that can be made that there's probably some argument that could be made that somebody who's inclined, like, I don't know the statistics on this actually, so I don't know the statistics. I won't speak on it just because I don't know. But it is interesting to me that on one hand, men bad, men weird, men creepy, men predators, but open borders doesn't really make sense. Men are overwhelmingly, men make up the majority of, I believe, both legal and illegal immigrants. So as it relates to feels over facts, though, I think on this particular topic, seeing family torn apart, that's feels. But let's talk about the facts about the impacts of illegal immigration on this country.
I think it's a combination of both and nuance.
Okay, but would you acknowledge, even on the feels front, there's a lot of like this? What about the feelings of the citizens of this country who don't want illegal immigration? Like, we ignore facts. There's a lot of feelings that we feel about illegal immigration.
Well, speaking to people where I'm from that feel negatively about it, part of the feelings I feel like are, you don't probably are upset I said feel, but sometimes they feel like someone is getting more than them who shouldn't. And usually to that I say, you need to look at the source rather than, basically look at the person rigging the race rather than your competitors.
What about things like rent prices?
Well, where I come from, rent skyrocketed because of all the out-of-state college students rather than immigrants.
Well, look, to be clear, it's a multivariate issue, the increases in cost of living and rent. I would never solely place the blame on these things simply or just on immigration. Obviously, there's other factors: greedy corporations, greedy landlords, inflation. There's a bunch of different reasons, right? However, like, how many how many illegal immigrants are in this country? They're not homeless. They're living somewhere. So if there's less supply, then prices go up. There's tens of millions of illegal immigrants here. I don't know what the exact number is. They're not homeless. They're living, they're renting, they're living in houses, in apartments.
They might be renting, but what's the place look like? Because some of the illegal immigrants in my community, they might be renting, but they're not living high on the hog. So,
and they're still paying for taxes.
Okay, there's like slumlords and stuff, but there's still definitely housing stock that citizens would absolutely live in that are being occupied or taken by immigrants.
There's also a lot of houses that are sitting empty because there's real estate companies that are buying them for Airbnbs or future investments, and no one's living in them at all.
I don't like that either, but that does nothing to tackle my argument that there's millions upon millions of immigrants in this country who are taking up the housing stock. So you can say, well, you can point to this other thing over here, red herring. Well, hold on. What about BlackRock has all these houses sitting on the market and nobody's occupying them? Okay, that's bad too, I guess, but that's not a defeater to my point.
I think it's a bigger problem than your point.
I don't. Hold on. I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm fairly confident that there's more more illegal immigrants occupying houses than does BlackRock own houses.
I don't know about BlackRock, but I can tell you, at least in Bloomington, Indiana, it's no one.
I'll Google it. Corporations. How many houses do corporations own? Mind you, corporations own approximately 600,000 single-family homes in the United States. And I'm assuming that like some of them sit empty, but most of these corporations are renting them out, even if it's for fucking bullshit inflated prices. It's not a defeater to my point.
Okay. Well, if you want to be a chat GPT robot, go ahead.
I Googled one thing.
No, I'm not. You're just very focused on logic for everything.
Yes.
But
we should be focused on logic.
There's just things in life you can't be that way.
Can I ask you a question? Can I move to Japan and say, fuck the Japanese and their fucking legal system? I don't give a fuck. I'm going to live here and I'm Japanese now. Fuck them. Can I do that?
Probably not.
Would they deport me?
Probably.
Would it be wrong for the Japanese to deport me if I overstay my visa?
Well, that's a bit of a gray area.
How so?
Well, if you've lived in Japan for like 40 years and you've integrated yourself in the community, you're kind of part of the community at that point.
Okay, so let's say the Japanese put that aside, but let's say I've been there for 18 months.
Well, that's a little different, a lot less time.
Okay, you acknowledge that there are illegal immigrants in this country who have just got here, who have been here for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 10 months?
Yes.
Should they be deported then?
The whole point of America is to be a melting pot and to have a bunch of culture. And literally the leaders here don't want culture and don't want people with culture.
But
I
is
think,
this even
hold on.
your position?
I think nations can say, you know what, we allowed for this amount of legal immigration in the past.
Especially if they're, sorry.
We allowed for this amount of legal immigration in the past. We accepted it. However, our circumstances have changed. The economy has changed. The cost of living has changed. The housing stock has changed. All kinds of factors have changed. We no longer want to allow this. We'll allow this amount of legal immigration, and we don't want any illegal immigration. Nothing wrong for a country to do that whatsoever. Just because there was some difference in the past doesn't mean we need to continue it. Just like slavery used to be legal in the past, definitely doesn't mean we should continue slavery because it was done and practiced in the past.
I don't think those things are related.
I think it's perfectly a coherent point. I still really haven't gotten an answer from you, though. So if I go ahead and say, you know what, you're right. If you've been here 40 years, maybe we shouldn't deport you. Are you prepared to say that if you've been here for 3 months, that we can deport you and should deport you?
Well, you haven't really set up a lot here, so.
So you're fine then with the deportation if they've been here for less than a year, say?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Common ground then.
Yes.
I mean, where did this even come from? She was just talking about like
I thought it
facts
was
over
wrong.
feelings, and
Yeah.
then you brought up immigration, and she's kind of just been like,
What's the cutoff? Is there a cutoff? Like how long do you have to be here before it's like wrong to deport somebody?
No, it depend on the situation.
Oh my God, bro.
You asked the wrong person that.
They've been here for 3 years. Can we
I
deport
think
them?
if they're paying taxes, they're working, they're not doing anything like.
Into the mic if you can.
I think if they're paying taxes, if they're working, if they're not.
Okay.
if-
Well, so can I move to Japan and
I don't know how their
You're-
laws work.
who has been to Costa Rica? Was it you?
I haven't been there
I forgot
yet.
who's the Costa Rica person.
It was me, but I just haven't been there yet.
Oh, you haven't been there. Okay. I mean, can I move to Mexico?
Yes, you can move to Costa Rica and you can move to Mexico.
But can I illegally immigrate to Mexico and then protest? Actually, it's funny. Can I protest the Mexican government and be like pissed off at them and riot and burn down buildings because they want to deport me?
You could do that, but you
Actually, no.
probably wouldn't end up being alive.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. We're not unaliving illegal immigrants in this country because they're protesting or whatever, or because they're here illegally. There's actually, I believe, didn't they pass a law, chat? In Mexico, if you're not a citizen of Mexico and you protest in Mexico, that's a crime. That's a
wrong.
crime. I believe maybe somebody in the chat can help me out with that. Chat, can anybody tell me really quick if you can, what's the law precisely? Mexico is having protests about American immigrants right now. So the Mexicans don't want American immigrants because some Americans do move to Mexico. Article 33 of the Constitution. Wait, can you pull that back up? Under Article 33 of the Mexican Constitution, it is strictly illegal for foreigners to participate in political activities in Mexico, which can include demonstrations. Participation in such activities can lead to consequences like detention or deportation. Could you imagine if I went to Mexico and I was waving around an American flag and was like, fuck the Mexican government?